If you want the ultimate comparison between the Estee Lauder set for 2020 and the Elizabeth Arden set for 2020, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène, and welcome or welcome back to HMM Makeup, or makeup. We are definitely talking about makeup today and skincare because I'm going to be comparing the Estee Lauder set for 2020 Holiday Edition to the holiday set from Elizabeth Arden. And there is a lot to talk about. I have done an evaluation of both sets and I am so ready to discuss. One thing that I want to make really clear up front is there's a big difference for Estee Lauder in how it handles the offer for the holiday set in different countries. I haven't heard or seen as much on that when it comes to Lancôme and Elizabeth Arden. Here's the deal. In Canada, and I'm going to talk about Canada and the US, everybody else in other countries seems to have a similar issue to Canada. In Canada, you pay for the set, but you also pay, and the set in Canada is $99 Canadian, which is about $75 US. In the US, it's $75, pardon me, but apparently there's some discounts going on as I'm filming this video. And in Canada, the big stickler for me is that you have to spend $150 Canadian in product for the privilege of purchasing the kit. In the US, all you need to do is to make a product purchase of any sort, and you can then buy the kit for $75 US. So that is an amazing consumer tax in Canada to be able to have the privilege of getting this. And of course, during the holiday season, the Estee Lauder sets, meaning the other stuff that you can buy to make the 150, is not necessarily on sale. So you can't buy things on sale and then at least get a good deal there to then buy the kit. The most I got was 15% off for the 4 products that I purchased to get over the 150 threshold to be able to have the privilege of buying this kit. So that is a big, big difference for some of us in some countries between the Estee Lauder and the Elizabeth Arden. In the US, you will not be faced with that challenge so much. So just keep that in mind that there is that difference. So from this point on, I'm going to consider the Estee Lauder and the Elizabeth Arden only for the purchase price of the sets themselves and not any sort of spend that you have to make beforehand. The first thing to note when it comes to the two sets is the difference in the amount of skincare you receive. For Elizabeth Arden, this is what you get. You get a month's worth of the ceramide capsules in this little container, and then if you're lucky to get this, you can also get the 2 samples of, I think one is the retinol, and then the other one is the eye option. And this is the regular ceramide capsules. So this is about a month, and then these are just 2 10 unit samples, I think. Whereas when you get the Estee Lauder set, you get 4 things. You get a makeup remover, which is the typical makeup remover included usually. It's called the Gentle Eye Makeup Remover, and it is a total of 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters. Next, you get a cream. Now, they call this a full size on the box. I find that quite misleading. It is the size of an eye cream. It's 15 milliliters, and this is the Revitalizing Supreme Global Anti-Aging Cell Power Cream. This is the size of an eye cream. That is not a full size. So you can be misled on the box. A full size would be 50 milliliters. This is definitely not that much. It's not even a third of that. And just to give you an idea, the eye cream that does come with the kit, put it on the right side, the eye cream that does come with the kit is the full size eye cream at 15 milliliters. And finally, there is the Advanced Night Repair Serum, which is usually included in the holiday sets, and this is a 30 milliliter container of that serum. There is a lot of skincare in this kit. The skincare alone for Estée Lauder pays for the kit, no question. It's the amount of skincare in the set is pretty remarkable. Now, if you're not buying the kit for the skincare, that may not be of interest to you, and we're going to go to makeup next. I lied. We're going to do the case first. Each one of the holiday sets, the Arden and the Lauder, comes with a case. The makeup in this case, the makeup came inside this case, and then inside that big box I showed you. So there are two zipper handles here, very similar. The zipper handles are very similar to the case last year. And the way the case is constructed is very similar to last year, where you see the zipper is offset. It's not in the center, so it makes it a little bit odd to hold the case. The case is kind of going sideways. The other big difference with the case from last year, apart from the fact that it has a very cute bow on the front, is that it is velvet packaging, and it's not as structural, as hefty as the case last year. Case last year was like in pleather, a stiff pleather. And then when you open the case, it is a single large compartment with kind of a satiny look inside. Now the case, in my opinion, the case from this year is not as durable as the case last year for Estée Lauder, because I don't think velvet is as easy to clean as a kind of pleather look. Apart from that, very, very similar to last year's offering, but the velvet to me makes me a lot less excited over this case compared to last year. And then we take a look at the Elizabeth Arden. If you're giving this as a gift, I think the velvet is cute, and so is this. This is almost jewelry box type. There is a handle on the top that you can pull, just like so, which is very cute. It does flatten out, which is also nice. It also kind of looks like a miniature hat box. And then there is a magnetic clip on the front. See that? It's magnetic. And when you open it up, it's very cute, a single compartment. And it doesn't open up quite all the way, so it will tend to close on you. But as far as a gift box, it is very, very cute. Now, I gave each one of these a similar value because they're both kind of on the more on the gift giving box as opposed to super, super practical. But this, I think it matters. I automatically put this one on my back shelf here because it's cute, it's Christmassy, doesn't take up a lot of room, and I can dust this one effectively, whereas the velvet one I think is going to be a bit tougher to maintain. Now let's talk a little bit about the makeup in each one of the kits. In the Elizabeth Arden kit, you get 3 palettes, and you get 3 palettes in the Estée Lauder kit as well. The smaller palette of the 3 in the Elizabeth Arden is a face palette, and it is 3 highlighters. That is what is included this year. Last year there were 2 blushes and 1 highlighter. The highlighter was amazing. It was a highlighter in rose quartz. The highlighters this year are fine. I don't know, the one from last year just stays with me, and I still use it to this day. But I had no problem. I used all 3 of these highlighters. They were perfectly fine. And there's a total of 4.3 grams or 0.15 ounces of product in here. Then for the eyeshadow palettes, there is a day palette and an evening or glam palette. And let's open up the day palette first. And they are noted on the front, which is helpful. So there's the day palette, and 6.5 grams in each, or 0.23 ounces. And here is the neutrals or day palette. I have done 1 look with this palette and quite enjoyed it. Had a neutral look with a red lip, and I think it turned out quite nicely. No problem with using the shadows at all. They were good quality. Much better than the shadow quality from last year's set. They really stepped up their game on the face products and on the eyeshadows this year. The one standout from last year was that rose quartz highlighter. Apart from that, I would say this year it's really, really good compared to last year. And then the nighttime palette. The nighttime palette is really the one that I wanted to try out the most. And the reason why is because the shadows are more colorful, and I wanted to know, because purples are tough to formulate, I wanted to know that this purple was pretty bomb as well as this burgundy, and I can confirm that. They did some fantastic, I was able to make some fantastic looks with the colors because they were true to what is in the pan. They were not dusty, they were pigmented, and I think that the looks that I came up with worked quite nicely. So that is, you can find 3 looks, 1 with a daytime palette and 2 with a nighttime palette if you do a search on the channel, and I'll have all of them linked in the description box if you want to access them there. Actually, all the looks I did with all 3 of the kits that I'm comparing right now over a number of videos. They're all the links, everything I've done is in the description box. Now, one other feature of the eyeshadow palettes and face palette is the design is really quite beautiful on these palettes, and they are quite sturdy and nice to hold in the hand, and they lay flat. So you can stack them nicely and they won't move, or sideways with no space, they won't move. Now, if we compare those to the Estee Lauder palettes, these are the holiday palettes for Estee Lauder. Similar to last year, they have a gold and red packaging. The one thing that I will note is that they don't quite stack the same way because of the bow that is on top of each one of the palettes. And each one of the palettes is identical, but the back of the palette tells you what it is. So there's the face palette. We have the nudes palette. Nudes is written up on the top corner here, and then glam as well written in the top corner here. There are no shadow names. The names are basically numbers. So 1 to 5 in the top row, 6 to 10 on the bottom row. Whereas the Arden palettes do have shadow names, if that's something that is of interest to you. Now let's take a look at the face palettes. The Elizabeth Arden has 4.3 grams, and the Estee Lauder has 8.7 grams of product. So the Estee Lauder has more face product than the Elizabeth Arden. And as I mentioned, Elizabeth Arden, all highlighters, and then the Estee Lauder has a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter. And so I find that having this trio is more useful than having this trio. And I don't know, they may have gone all highlighters because they got feedback last year that the rose quartz was great, but that their blushes were horrible. The peach blush didn't even pick up at all, and the pink blush, I was damaging my brush going in, and I tried it even a year later, and it's still as bad. So they didn't do any blushes or bronzers this year, but definitely their highlighter formula in this year's set is fine. And as far as these 3, they all perform beautifully. I have no problem with any of them. As a matter of fact, I have all 3 of them on my cheeks today, and I quite like all 3 products. Now for the eyeshadows, and I am wearing the Estee Lauder eyeshadow on my eyes today. I'll show you that palette first, and it is the Glam palette is what I'm wearing today. So I have this as my primary color, followed by this on the inner to 2/3 of the lid, and I also have this color, which is kind of a cream color, on my brow bone. That is pretty much what I have on my eyes, other than liner and mascara as well. And I am very satisfied with the color saturation in the Glam palette. I did the blue look and I did the purple look. You can find all of those looks linked below. I was really quite impressed, and I was pretty hard on these eyeshadow palettes when I first saw them, and they really had to prove to me that they're grown-up eyeshadow palettes because they really look like kids' makeup. And let me just show you the difference between these palettes and the Elizabeth Arden palettes. So first off, size-wise, the Elizabeth Arden has 6.5 grams of product. These ones have 3.7 grams of product. This is literally side by side. I don't have one closer to the screen than the other. Look at the pan size difference. So there's almost twice as much product in the Elizabeth Arden set, despite having 2 fewer shades compared to the Estee Lauder set. That's a lot of difference. So if you care how much eyeshadow you get, I would say that that is a concern for me when it comes to the Estee Lauder palettes. If you care more about variety than you care about the quantity, then the Estee Lauder shadows might be more interesting to the palettes. You get 20 total in the Estee Lauder set. You get a total of 16 in the Elizabeth Arden set. Now, I want to reiterate, the quality this year between Elizabeth Arden and Estee Lauder, I would say, is quite comparable. Both sets were pigmented. Both sets picked up on the brush in a similar way. I did not have a problem with either one. The one that may be an issue is when I had my fluffy crease brush, these pans are pretty much the size of my fluffy crease brush. Whereas in this case, I wouldn't have any sort of concern over which type of makeup brush I would use. Just so you can see, here is that palette again, and here is my crease brush. So do you see how the pan is compared to the crease brush? That is not a whole lot of difference, and I have that brush right next to the eyeshadow. So it's not a whole lot of room to maneuver, and it's a lot less eyeshadow than usually would be in a pan. So I would be concerned about over time getting into the corners damaging a brush, because I think that you would hit pan on these pretty quickly, especially the go-to colors to establish a look, or the ones that you're going to use all the time with brow bone, highlight, and that kind of a thing. So you've seen the 2 Glam palettes. Let me show you the more daytime palettes. And so I have them here just so that you can compare the color stories between the 2. So there's a little bit more color variety in the Estee Lauder palette with the deep peach and the deep rose color that is in this nudes palette. And so I would say that there is more of a color selection in the Estee Lauder palette for sure. And all of the shadows that I tried, I think there are only 2 in this one that I didn't try, they are quite good. And I tried, I think 4 of the colors in the Elizabeth Arden palette. Again, a big difference in quantity, 3.7 grams compared to 6.7. And so it just depends what you're looking for. The amount of the variety of the eyeshadows or the quantity of the eyeshadows, although I would say that going from 16 to 20 is not a huge difference, but it can matter to some folks. Now for variety, it does matter as well for lip products. In the Elizabeth Arden, there are 2 lipsticks. Both sets have the square packaging, which I think is great. I don't mind the sleek black. Elizabeth Arden is written on the side of the packaging, which is nice. And there are 2 colors. There is the holiday red, which is included in every holiday set, no matter the brand. And then there is the one that I'm wearing today, which is a beautiful mauve. Now, if you want to make sure you're not duplicating what is in your collection, this one is called Mulberry Bush, which is the plum color. And then the red is the Sangria 43. For the Estee Lauder lipsticks, there are 2 of them. They come with a mirror on the side of the packaging, which I thought was quite nice. It does not say Estee Lauder on the side, but it does say it on the top. And there is, again, a holiday red. Let's just take a look at the size of the lipstick. These are the 2 holiday reds. You'll be able to compare them as well. Okay, so here is the Arden and this is the Estee Lauder. And they look virtually identical. So you saw the red from the Estee Lauder. Now let me show you the other color. And it is a nude. If you watch the video where I create this look with the Estee Lauder palette, you will see me using this nude with this look at the very end of the video. And I just changed it to this mulberry bush color for this particular video. Now, something else that comes for lip products in the Estee Lauder that does not come in the Elizabeth Arden is these two, I was going to say lipsticks, lip glosses. And you'll be able to tell that I used this one quite a bit already. This one is called Flash Fire, and then this red is called Tender Trap. And I just wanted to compare for you to see Tender Trap compared to this. This is last year's red compared to this year's red. This one is more glossy and has no shimmer in it, and this one has some shimmer in it. This one is more of a blue red. Last year was more of an orangey red. I do like the packaging for the lip gloss in this year's kit better, but the applicator in last year's kit was better. This year is a brush, and depending on what you receive, the brush can be very stiff and make the lip gloss a little bit hard to apply. So there are 2 extra products, but I would say that the applicator is not as nice as it was last year, but it is 2 additional lip products compared to Elizabeth Arden. By far out of these 2, I do prefer this one, and it does give me that plummy purple vibe that I get from the mulberry bush that I'm wearing right now. So it does give that kind of an effect in the Estee Lauder set as well. Now let's talk mascara. Each one of the sets comes with a deluxe mascara. They're both mascaras that are over $30. The Elizabeth Arden is a plastic brush that is curved, and some folks can't use that kind of a mascara. I'm one of them. It ends up poking my eye. So that is just something to know. And then this one is has quite a significant brush. Actually, both of them have quite big brushes. And it is more of a defining mascara, although I would say that the 2 mascaras do offer a similar look to the lashes. One significant difference between the 2 kits is, apart from the skincare, is also the fact that the Elizabeth Arden set has brushes. There is an angled brush and there is a shadow brush. And last year there was a powder brush and 2 other shadow brushes that are different from what is in the kit this year. So if you got the kit last year and you are scared that it's going to be the same brushes, it isn't. And there are no brushes in the Estee Lauder kit. So what can we conclude between the 2 sets? If we ignore the product purchase minimum, which is $150 for Estee Lauder and $58 for Elizabeth Arden, which is roughly a third of what you need to spend, at least in Canada, for Estee Lauder, then the purchase price of the kit itself is really not that material. The Estee Lauder kit is $99 Canadian and the Elizabeth Arden kit is $88. So the price of the kit should not make a huge amount of difference. The value, however, is different. In skincare alone, the Estee Lauder kit is far ahead of the Elizabeth Arden kit, even though the products that are included in the Estee Lauder kit are not full size, except for the eye cream. Well, I won't say not all full size. This is definitely not a full size at 15 ml for a face cream. This one is a full size, which is the eye cream, and then this one is 30, but 30, this would also be considered a full size. The only one that really isn't is a 15 ml of a face cream. I've never seen a face cream that's 15 ml considered full size. That is the size of an eye cream. If skincare is not important to you, and depending on the person, it may not be important to you. Maybe there's another kind of skincare that is a lot more your style and that you buy the kits for the makeup. I would definitely say that the kits are comparable, and they're similar, meaning the overall amount of makeup that you get is pretty similar. There's more in one kit, less in another, but overall it's about the same. So for example, you get 4 lip products in Estee Lauder, you get 2 lip products in Elizabeth Arden, but you get twice the amount, or almost twice the amount of eyeshadow in Elizabeth Arden compared to Estee Lauder. And in Estee Lauder, you get more face product than you get in Elizabeth Arden. So it just matters what you care about. And each one has mascara. So, you know, it just really matters what you care about. And also the colors that they chose to include in each one of the kits. You may like a mauve lipstick. I really like a mauve lipstick. That's in the Elizabeth Arden kit. You may prefer a nude lipstick that's more on the peachy side. That's in the Estee Lauder kit. It just, if skincare is off the table, then it really matters more taking a look at the color story and the quantity of product in the various components of the makeup kit. When I take a look at the overall value of the kit for the cost of the kit itself, again, not counting the need or the minimum purchase amount for the privilege to buy the kit, they are a little bit different because mostly of the skincare. Estee Lauder wins because of the skincare included in the kit. That's pretty much it. That is why I have Estee Lauder higher up in the ranking compared to Elizabeth Arden. If I had to choose only one of them from a makeup perspective, so I still get to keep the skincare, but I need to choose between the Elizabeth Arden and the Estee Lauder makeup sets, I would pick the Elizabeth Arden. I like the components better. I like the fact that there's around 40% more eyeshadow in the Elizabeth Arden kit. I never get through face product, so the fact that the Estee Lauder kit has more face product, I don't really care. And I just care a lot more about the aesthetics of the kit itself, and this component looks really, really cheap to me, and I wouldn't really want to carry it around. Whereas these 3 palettes could easily be a set of palettes that I could keep in my purse, or choose to have this whole set as a travel set that stores nicely and flat in my purse or travel bag and what have you. Though I will say that I would miss this gloss. So I think that's it. The quality of the products in both sets of makeup, I think they're good. There are a couple of glitches in the packaging for Estee Lauder, including the brush that comes in the lip gloss and the size of the pans in the palettes and the palette component itself. Those are all kind of irritating things about the Estee Lauder kit. But really it comes down to what do you like as far as the makeup they're offering, and deciding from there, assuming the skincare didn't already tip the scale significantly for you. That's really the bottom line. I hope you found this comparing and contrasting useful. Let me know what you think in the comments. I do appreciate hearing your thoughts, and we can all learn from each other. So if you want to let me know what you think, I would appreciate it. And I do want to say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.